Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having an amazing day. So a pretty interesting weekend. We definitely want to cover it right here. So one of the first things that I want to talk about is about 2 days ago, I made a video on YouTube. It was actually yesterday that I talked about American Airlines and if it was a buy or sell. So I talked about that it was approaching a potential support level on the technical side. But one of the things that I wanted to share with you is, especially in Arizona, which is the state that I live in, is we've seen a huge increase in cases for COVID. This is not just in the state of Arizona, but this is overall statewide. So as you guys can see, this overall article and a series of different articles actually cover the overall idea of certain states are now taking more precaution in effort to reduce the overall cases of COVID, right? And one of the things that we want to talk about is right now we're seeing an increase of cases. And it's not about until a week to 2 weeks after that we see the overall death toll that shortly follows. So all I want to share with you is right now there is a lot of uncertainty. I'm not too sure if that's the exact reason on why we're seeing the overall market pullback, but we did do a double top right around 10,000 for /NQ, which is the NASDAQ future. And the reason that I find this to be so interesting is just like last week, we're pulling back to the SMA line. And now it's asking the question, are we going to find a support once again? Or are things actually getting so much worse for COVID and the overall increase of cases that it's actually going to break the support level and continue to sell off? And one of the things that a lot of these overall articles highlight is that we're experiencing the next wave of COVID cases because of this specific spike. This is something that I have said from the very beginning with the overall idea of we still do not have a vaccine, and there has been nothing that has changed since we entered quarantine from the time that we exited quarantine. If anything, things have only gotten worse. Of course, we are testing more 100%. But with the overall idea that certain states, as I have to admit, Arizona is not on top of its game in overall spreading this coronavirus, right? There are a series of non-essential businesses that are open. And now one of the things that we're experiencing now statewide is we actually received a message that even in the city that I live in, after 5 p.m. in every form of business, you're going to be required to wear this face mask. And the reason that I'm sharing this with you is based off of anticipation. If things continue to get worse, if COVID cases continue to increase, and 1 to 2 weeks follow, right? Deaths follow 1 to 2 weeks after. Is this or could this be a reason that the market can sell right back off again? This is what I want to leave you with. This is, something that I want you to think a little bit more about so you can anticipate it. So if it does break below the SMA line and it does sell off, that it doesn't come as a surprise. I think the more informed we are, the better off that we can end up performing, especially when it comes down to us day traders, right? Because when the market sells off, there's a series of ETFs that go up, right? And this is definitely something that you want to be well informed on. But of course, if this is just a little pullback for a little correction and it finds a support and then it breaks above the EMA line and it makes new highs, then cool, we don't have to worry about it. But I just wanted to make sure that we talk about that. And now that we talked about COVID cases, what is an industry that was, most affected because of the COVID cases? I have to say that the overall airline industry was definitely one of them. And again, we talked about this yesterday. And today we saw about a 3% drop on American Airlines. So no longer are we making higher lows. We now broke below the SMA line, which we're getting very close to on /NQ, as you guys can tell, right, on the 180-day chart. So if you guys look at the 180-day chart, we're pulling back right now. The SMA line is way down here. But when it comes down to American Airlines, we pulled back. We broke below the EMA line. We're no longer making higher lows, just like we said, right? And now the question is now as there is an increase of COVID cases, I just want you to think about this, right? And how the market is going to react. If there is an increase of COVID cases, do you think people will have the confidence to travel through airlines? And if less people are comfortable traveling through airlines, does that mean that the airline stocks, right, will then be negatively affected? We have seen a bit of a recovery, right? Obviously from its overall initial lows. But can this second win or second wave of COVID cases be something that sends it right back to the SMA line, that sends it right back to, new lows? Can things get worse before they get better? I just want you to be aware of what is going on and how the market can react, right? Anticipation. The last thing that I want to talk about is a lot of people have been asking about Nikola. Nikola, correct me if I'm wrong, but all it's been doing this week is finding a support at $60, experiencing a resistance at $70. So much consolidation. I've noticed a lot of people have still been able to day trade it, but it has not been moving very consistently in the overall idea of, for you to be able to pick up the low points or the high points, because it normally recovers the day after, right? It picks up and then it drops. So then you almost have to swing trade it. And this is just something that a lot of people are following up with. Why? Especially with what is going to be happening in the next couple of days on June 29th. I just want to follow up with it and keep you guys up to date. They are going to open their pre-orders for their Badger Nikola EV truck. And I am very intrigued to see what numbers they report and if there's going to be a paywall for the deposits to set up these specific trucks. Or are they not going to require a deposit? Are they just going to allow anyone to place a pre-order and inflate their overall pre-order and pre-order value estimate so they can shoot the price of their publicly traded stock up? I'm very interested, right? Again, the reason I'm sharing this with you is just so if this is something that you were following up with, you can set your alerts and at least have some form of reasoning behind maybe why it pushes up or why it drops based off of overall expectation and anticipation. So I'm very, very excited to see where Nikola heads if they actually report better than expected numbers. But that's really just it. I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. I closed all my positions today, $744, made a majority of that off of DGAS, $655 with a little bit of my profits coming from UGAS, which is again the Bull Natural Gas ETN. I made $89 on that. So all positions closed just like we do every single day. Today is Friday, and I'm just very, very excited to follow up with you guys on Monday. I don't know if it's just me, but I sometimes dread the weekend because we can't trade. So let me know in the comment section if you could relate to that. So I really hope that I earned your thumbs up throughout this video. If you learned something new, please don't forget to absolutely smash that like button. Also, if you haven't done so already, please, the first link down below is our free Facebook group. We're the largest Facebook group in the world for those who day trade in the stock market with over 280,000 members. On top of that, if you guys haven't checked out our new apparel line, we just dropped today. We still have a couple items for sale. The day trader shirts already sold out. We still have the hustle hard shirts available and a couple of the sweaters and only one of the tank tops left. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. Again, all the links are provided for you down below. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.